Talk about Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. As I record this video, they're currently on a 3-game win streak, and they're definitely headed into the right direction with Ben Johnson, their brand new head coach, and Caleb Williams, their star quarterback, who is in year number 2. But I want to go back here. Caleb Williams has been one of the most disrespected players in the NFL by many people, even by some Chicago Bears fans. We go back to week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings. It's the first game of the regular season. The first 3 quarters, Caleb looked so good. In the 4th quarter, he missed a lot of passes. He didn't do well with pressure. You had some Bears fans coming out and saying it's the same stuff every single year. Let's start Tyson. You had some fans in my comment section saying that. In week 2 against the Detroit Lions, it was even worse. I don't understand why some people hate Caleb Williams, but it is what it is. He's looked better the last 3 weeks. He had a very good rookie season in a terrible situation. And I've said this over the last year. He had Matt Eberflus as his head coach, who failed him last season. Shane Waldron was his offensive coordinator for the first couple weeks. They fired him. You had Thomas Brown as the interim offensive coordinator. Then he became the interim head coach. There's 3 different coaches in this kid's ear his rookie season. And yet, he still had some good moments last year. He still put them in situations to win football games. One game in particular, the Detroit Lions, Thanksgiving Day, to where Matt Eberflus did not use that timeout. And look at Matt Eberflus right now with the Dallas Cowboys. That defense is terrible, mostly because of him. You had terrible coaches all around. One of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, and yet he still put up solid numbers for a first overall pick. So we go into this season. Ben Johnson, he gets a better offensive line. You bring in Jonah Jackson, who has not looked good at the right guard position. You bring in Joe Thuney at the left guard position, and you bring in Drew Dahlman. Better players on the interior. And now you have this situation to where you force a game plan to have Caleb Williams to get the football out quicker too. DJ Moore, the same with Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, Colson Loveland. You have DeAndre Swift still in the backfield. This is still a team that is inconsistent with running the football, but you see the flashes with Caleb Williams. He showed good moments against the Minnesota Vikings in that matchup. Sure, they were up in that game, 17-6, but their defense also let them down. Caleb did have a bad 4th quarter, but let's not act like the defense played lights out in the second half. Against the Detroit Lions, Caleb did not give up 52 points. The defense did. He did have the one bad interception. He's trying to throw the football out of bounds. That was the only bad play in the game for Caleb. But against the Dallas Cowboys, he had 4 passing touchdowns, 300 passing yards. But it's against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So we have to dock him for that, even though it was the best game of his career up to this point. So they go against the Las Vegas Raiders, a weak team in the NFL. I will give you that. But Max Crosby is constantly in the lap of Caleb Williams over and over again. And Max Crosby came out and he said that Caleb, he earns my respect for how he performed in this matchup. Elite level throws every single time on 3rd down. Avoiding pressure, getting the football out quick to key receivers like Roma Dunze and DJ Moore. And that's been the biggest thing here with Caleb. The faster release of the football up to this point in time in the season. And he's doing this with an inconsistent run game with DeAndre Swift. He's running around and he's making plays with his legs. They're running quarterback power to the right side with Caleb. We didn't see this last year with Thomas Brown. We didn't see this last year with Shane Waldron for the first couple of weeks. And against the Las Vegas Raiders, you won this game 25-24. Give the defense a lot of credit. They had 3 interceptions on Geno Smith. They blocked the potential game-winning field goal late in the matchup. But in the pass from Matt Eberflus, you would have lost that game easily. Because at that point in time, last season, they could not bounce back from adversity. That's why they lost against the Washington Commanders last year on the failed Hail Mary play. You had so many chances to go out there and to win that matchup. Caleb Williams put you in situations over and over again to win that game. But your players, they weren't locked in. So Tyreek Stevenson, he's arguing with the fans. It goes for a Hail Mary. They lose that matchup. That's not on Caleb Williams. That's on the defense. But yet Caleb got majority of the blame yet again in the national media, especially with a lot of journalists in Chicago. So in tonight's matchup against the Commanders, nothing is going your way in the second half. Caleb is still making tough throws over and over again to DeAndre Swift out of the backfield, who had a phenomenal game in this matchup. Trust me, we're going to get on DeAndre Swift here in a second. Tough throws to Rome Odunze and DJ Moore. Evading pressure over and over again. And the way that you won this matchup, it did come down to a fumble with Jaden Daniels and his running back. And if you're a Commander fan, that does suck. But look at it from this standpoint. The Bears lost to this team last year on a Hail Mary play. Caleb, with 2 minutes left, gets the football out quick to Carson Loveland. A beautiful route, beautiful accuracy underneath. And the reason why I'm hyping this up, we didn't see this last year out of Caleb. He would have easily missed that throw. Jake Moody, who missed a lot of kicks with the San Francisco 49ers, they moved on from him. He hits the game-winning field goal. The same score last week against the Las Vegas Raiders was the same score in this week's matchup 2 weeks ago because the Bears are coming off a bye week against the Raiders. They're winning games that they would have lost last year with Matt Eberflus. And I'm not saying that they're going to be this for sure playoff team. They still have some weaknesses with this roster. But if this run game can get going like how it got going tonight with DeAndre Swift, and you can take that pressure off of Caleb Williams, we're talking about a tough team here in the NFC. DeAndre Swift, 14 carries, 108 rushing yards. By far his best game of the season up to this point, 7.7 yards a carry. Monangai, he came in, he gave you some good moments. And DeAndre Swift had 2 catches, 67 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. And one of those receptions went for a 55-yard receiving touchdown. Luther Burden has stepped up over the last couple of weeks. 4 catches, 51 receiving yards in tonight's matchup. The chemistry is still weird with DJ Moore, but the one thing that we know about Ben Johnson, he loves to have multiple wide receivers. Look at how he helped out the Detroit Lions. They had St. Brown, Sam Laporte at the tight end position, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick. He wants to have a deep wide receiving core and multiple tight ends that can help you out and kill you from different angles. And this is what the Bears have right now. In this offensive line, Theo looked better at the left tackle position than Braxton Jones. I would give them credit for that. It seems like in the next couple weeks, they're going to move off of Braxton Jones as a player. He's in the contract year. And it's important to bring this up. Theo has had more consistent play at this position. And we finally got to see this against the Las Vegas Raiders a couple of weeks ago. Right now, he's just a better tackle than Braxton Jones. Darnell Wright has had some up and down moments this season. But he's a former first-round pick. You hope that he can become this franchise tackle. Jonah Jackson at the right guard position, he needs to be better. It was a terrible play late in this game. It's a handoff to Monangai. He gets beat so bad to where he's tackling the running back himself. He's had a lot of bad moments at the right guard position, and yet Caleb Williams is not panicking inside the pocket. He's getting outside the pocket. He's staying behind the line of scrimmage. He's delivering the football on a dime. And I understand the Dallas Cowboys, they aren't one of the best teams in the NFL. The same with the Las Vegas Raiders. But the Washington Commanders, even though they were beat up, and the Bears were beat up as well, this was a team that just went to the NFC Championship game a year ago against the Philadelphia Eagles. And this was a team that you had a lead on last year. It just came down to that Hail Mary play. So if Caleb can be more consistent with his accuracy and this offensive line can be more consistent in pass protection, we can see brighter days ahead for the Chicago Bears with Ben Johnson. But you're seeing the impact that he's having on this roster right now. They're more prepared, they're more buttoned up in general, and they're being physical up front every single week. And it really comes down to this run game. If they can get this run game going with DeAndre Swift, it will open up that play action attack. The play action game has been non-existent for the first 4 weeks of the regular season with the Bears. Against the Dallas Cowboys, they just went out there per shotgun, basically. We're going to throw this football around the field with DeAndre Swift in the backfield as a blocker. But we're going to throw this football with Caleb Williams to Rome Odunze and the same with DJ Moore. And Rome Odunze statistically has been the best wide receiving threat on this roster. Give him a lot of credit. Defensively here, they're still missing some names. They haven't been fully healthy all season long. Jalen Johnson, he's been out dealing with an injury. In my opinion, he's their best cover corner. Tyreek Stevenson is a very good cornerback. I know that I came out a couple minutes ago and I said that he gave up the Hail Mary play last year to the Commanders. But over the last few years, Tyreek Stevenson has been a very good number 2 corner playing alongside Jalen Johnson. And the Jalen Johnson injury is very interesting here. He's only played 1 game against the Detroit Lions. He's dealing with an injury all offseason long. And he has a massive contract. Hopefully he can come back this season. You have him and Tyreek Stevenson on the back end of this defense. That's a very good cornerback duo. Kevin Byard has been phenomenal over the last couple of weeks. Made Geno Smith's life a living hell against the Las Vegas Raiders. And this is a man that's turning back the clock right now. We know that he's a very good playmaking safety. He can take the football away over and over again. With those 2 interceptions against Geno. They had an interception tonight against the Washington Commanders. They capitalized off their opportunities, something that they have been able to do in the past with their terrible head coach and Matt Eberflus. You have Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. It's a very good linebacking duo. Tremaine Edmonds is a very good player at his position. You may say that those players are overpaid, but I'm a huge fan of Tremaine Edmonds. You brought him over from the Buffalo Bills a few years ago. And TJ Edwards from the Philadelphia Eagles a few years back. Now, this defensive line, they still have a major ways to go. Montez Sweat, he's not a bad player, but he's getting paid a lot of money. They made a trade, and they paid him a lot of money to be this franchise pass rusher. He hasn't been that this season. He needs to ramp up his play. Gervin Dexter Sr. has been a solid defensive tackle. They need Grady Jarrett back as soon as possible. Grady Jarrett is not going to go out there and push the pocket like how he used to with the Atlanta Falcons. Since he tore his ACL, he hasn't been the same pass rusher, but he can stop the run. And you have Deo that you brought over from the Indianapolis Colts. So that's the biggest weakness right now with this defense is their defensive line. And they showed a lot of good moments tonight against the Washington Commanders, but this was a huge win. And this is the one thing about the Chicago Bears. You want them to fight back and find a way to win at all costs. Even though it is the Raiders, even though it is the Dallas Cowboys, these are still very good wins for this franchise. And I look at them as a rebuilding team still with a first-year head coach and a second-year quarterback and Caleb Williams. But to see Caleb have this consistent play over the last 3 weeks is very exciting if you are a Bears fan. And I basically have come out here and rooted for this man since his days at USC. He's constantly gotten hate over and over again for the weirdest reasons, whether he's up in the stands crying in his mom's arms, going out there and painting his fingernails. I don't care if he paints every part of his body, as long as he's able to go out there and perform at an elite level for the Bears. Because I've never seen the Chicago Bears have consistent quarterback play in my life. I know that they made the NFL playoffs with Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky was a bust of this organization, and the same with Justin Fields. But this was a man coming out of USC, was seen as a generational prospect. He may never live up to that hype, but if he can be a consistent quarterback with the Bears, and the pieces around him can fall into place with this head coach, they could be working with something special here in this division. And you still have a chance in this division with the Green Bay Packers, the same with the Detroit Lions, and even the Minnesota Vikings. But the last 2 wins have been amazing if you are a Bears fan. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about Caleb Williams long term with the Chicago Bears, and the same with Ben Johnson? And once again, I want to say this in this video. I am not saying that the Bears are going to make the NFL playoffs. They're going to be this elite Super Bowl contender for the rest of the season. But brighter days are definitely ahead. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.